Of course, all this is happening while we're still at war in Afghanistan. To explore the military side of the controversy, retired four-star General Jack Keane, former Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. And General, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Always good to be here, Chris.
We've heard a lot from the politicians this week about the military principle, leave no soldier behind. Is that true even in a case like this where Bo Bergdahl at least walked off his post and may have deserted?
Yes, definitely. If he defected, that would be another matter. We would not go after him, and certainly with no rescue, and there'd be no negotiations for him. But this is still a United States soldier, and we want to bring him home, and we want a full accounting of what took place and his behavior. Everyone in the administration certainly knows that he deserted his post. That is a fact. They're not going to make a lot of statements about that because, frankly, we want this soldier to come home, be interrogated by an expert, and let's get all the facts on the table. And if it drives us to a court-martial, so be it. But we don't want him right now in Landstuhl with a lawyer because we're making statements that would have to protect him in his due process.
Well, you talk about one thing if he's a deserter, another if he's a defector. We got reports from James Rosen this week based on intel reports that were given to the military at the time that indicated that Bergdahl did try to escape at least twice, was severely punished, put in a cave, but that at a later point during his 5 years of captivity that he declared himself a warrior for jihad. How does the military sort that out?
The primary evidence we're going to use is certainly him. And we do have a single source reporting on everything you just described. We have multi-source reporting is the process we go through. We want to confirm a single source, particularly human sources with paid informants, which are largely what this is. Multi-sources have confirmed that he did escape. We haven't been able to confirm that there's been multiple escapes, or we have not been able to confirm, which is a violation of the code of conduct, that he sought favor from the enemy, which the single source indicates he did, or that he was in fact collaborating with the enemy, which the single source indicates that he did. An experienced, sophisticated interrogator will get to the bottom of this, I'm absolutely convinced.
There has been, I don't have to tell you, a firestorm of criticism this week over comments made by National Security Advisor Rice last Sunday on another show. Here is what she said then and how she tried to clean it up on Friday.
He served the United States with honor and distinction. What I was referring to is the fact that this was a young man who volunteered to serve his country in uniform at a time of war. That is itself a very honorable thing.
Do Bergdahl's actions, as you understand them, meet any military definition of honor and distinction? And in this past week, how do the military leaders you've spoken to regard this, the swap, the decision to bring back Bergdahl, and the way in which it was rolled out by the administration?
Yes, certainly, yes. I mean, the fact that a citizen volunteers, becomes a soldier, becomes a paratrooper, goes to combat as a result of that, has an unblemished record as a very good soldier, and then deserts his post and, in a sense, betrays all his comrades, that trumps all that previous behavior. So that is a distinction in of itself, and he has to be held accountable for that. And certainly the United States military, in looking at behavior like that, are not going to tolerate it. And the way soldiers feel about that, particularly his teammates, there's one word, and that's betrayed.
And how have the military leaders you've talked to this week, I know you're in close touch with a lot of folks still in the Pentagon, how do they view the way this week has rolled out?
They're outraged by the fact that the president at the Rose Garden ceremony was actually promoting an event, and in terms of public relations, and then taking his family, who, by the way, the military had advised to maintain a very low profile, and they had been maintaining a low profile, Chris, for years. And then to put them in front of the cameras like that and begin a celebration, I think that created not only anguish among those who were his teammates and those who may have lost their lives in rescuing him, but senior military leaders looked at that and just shook their head and said, why are we doing something like that?